everybody, Happy New Year. I hope you had a lovely Christmas and I hope you've had a good start to the new year. For me, I had a lovely Christmas. I spent it with my family and then post Christmas I spent a bit of time sort of thinking about what had gone on through 2024 and making plans for 2025. And this is something that I do most years. I just make lots and lots of notes and plans for the year, but I tend to just write them in notebooks and then sort of forget about them. But this year I took a big sheet and I sort of sectioned it up into different areas and just made some bullet point notes on each area. So I'm quite interested to see if I kind of refer to it over the year and if I kind of keep on track or if things change. So it'll be quite interesting. But while I was doing all of this, obviously one of the biggest areas that I was thinking of plans for is my business. And what was actually really interesting was to actually think about the things that I don't want to do in my business rather than the things that I do want to do, because thinking about the things I don't want to do really helped me focus in on the things that I do want to do. And so for me, when I first started this business in 2013, the idea was to teach sewing and to teach sewing classes. And really throughout the entire time that I've been running this business, that is the core focus of the business. So one of the things that I did was I decided to have a bit of a studio revamp because I didn't feel like it sort of working as well as it could be. So I know it probably looks a bit of a mess down there at the moment. There's lots of fabric stacked high, but I have made some really big changes in the studio. So I've taken down a whole load of shelving and I've bought in these two lovely big tables. So these are great for cutting out and working on for sewing classes. And I've had sewing classes this week and I feel like the space is working a lot better. So I'm really pleased with my start. I think it's a great start to the new year. But I thought today I'd just also share a couple of the things that I think about when I'm making some plans, because I think it's quite useful to kind of have these ideas, whether you're planning a small business or whether you're planning to make lifestyle changes or even planning a sewing project. I think it can be quite interesting to kind of think through some different ideas. So the place that I often start is nothing changes if nothing changes. And it's kind of just a statement that it just brings you back to the realisation that if you want to make a change, you have to do something different. So for an example, at this time of year, some of us are maybe thinking about a diet plan or an exercise plan, and if you just keep eating the same food, then nothing's going to change. So nothing changes if nothing changes. And the same goes for, say you want to sort of fit more or sort of sewing time in or more leisure time for something else, but you keep doing the same things every night of the week or in your spare time, then you're not going to have time to factor in that sewing time. So nothing changes if nothing changes. It just sort of brings it back to the realisation that you have to make a change. But the sort of layer underneath that is identifying an awareness, because it's not always straightforward to kind of just know what to do. You might know that something's not quite right, but you might not necessarily know why it's not right. So when I was kind of looking at my business, I was thinking about the things. I knew that I hadn't got enough time to do everything, so I was thinking, well, what can I change? And then I realised that I was still sort of working towards doing the shows again, which I was doing before COVID, and actually it's not something I really want to do. So it's not to say I will never do them again, but actually they're so far down my list, I don't really want to do them. I don't think they do a lot for me, in all honesty. So that really sort of helped me focus and on the other things, because I just took it out of the equation. It made me aware that the thing that I do love and what I really want to be doing is teaching, and that's what I'm maximising. So it was bringing an awareness to where I wanted to be. And then the sort of the layer after that is, once you've identified or become aware of the thing that you want to change, is to take small steps. Because it can be, I know I've made quite a big drastic change to my studio, but I straight away knew, I saw how it needed to be, and it was something that I could do and I could achieve, and it really helped me sort of set the intention and just start afresh. But when it's something small, it might be that you can carve out an hour to do sewing on a Monday night, and then that can be all it can be for now. So but you actually want to build up to being able to do 3 or 4 hours a week sewing or something. But I mean, it can be anything. I'm using sewing as an example, but it could be anything. It could be going back to that diet plan or that exercise plan, or it could be improving your sewing skills. It could be anything. So the thing that I think is really important is bite-sized pieces. So just taking it in small increments. So there are things like that I'm trying to build into my sort of daily life. I'd like to do a little bit more walking, and I don't really ever find time to do that. And because I work at home and I work in my studio, I don't have to walk very far. So for me, I'm going to try and build in a 15-minute walk, maybe twice a week to start with, and then maybe that will progress as I kind of get used to doing 2 15-minute walks a week. So it's just taking bite-sized bits. So if you're trying to fit your sewing in, maybe you can sort of carve out that half an hour, or maybe you can do a little setup in a corner of a room somewhere where it means that you can do a little bit more sewing, and just have that time that you've said you've dedicated to sewing on that evening. So yeah, that's what I thought I'd share with you today anyway, so a little bit different. And the other thing that I have been thinking about is this little video, and I don't know if people enjoy watching it or not, but I would love to hear from you if you do like to watch these videos. So if you'd like to leave a comment, it would be great to hear from you. But I am thinking I probably will change this now to not doing it every week, but to maybe come on when I do have something that I want to talk about or share with you, and maybe spend a bit more time doing some new tutorials that I can share rather than me just babbling on. So if you'd like to comment on that, I'd love to hear what you think, because that's the most important thing really, what you think. So I think that's pretty much it for today, but like I said, I hope you had a lovely break, and I hope you got lots of sewing done over the Christmas break if you did have time. So I think that's all for now, and I shall see you again soon.